Trump moves to dismantle the Department of Education. What it means for America's schools. Imagine a United States where there is no Department of Education. A country where every state runs its schools independently. No national rules, no centralized funding, and no federal oversight. Well, this might not be imagination anymore, because the Trump administration has announced major steps toward dismantling America's Department of Education, a government institution that has shaped U.S. schooling for more than 4 decades. Is this a bold reform or a dangerous gamble? Stay with me till the end to find out exactly what happened, why it's happening now, and how it could dramatically change education in America forever. But before we get to the consequences, let's understand what exactly the Trump administration is doing. The Trump administration confirmed that it has officially begun taking practical steps to reduce and potentially dismantle the U.S. Department of Education. According to a White House statement, the goal is to shift control of education away from the federal government and return it to the states. This is not just an idea anymore. The administration has already launched partnerships with other departments, including Labor, State, Interior, and Health and Human Services. These agencies will begin taking over some responsibilities that were traditionally handled by the Education Department. In short, the responsibilities of one major department are being divided across 4 others. And why? According to the administration's official statement, to streamline activities, reduce bureaucracy, and refocus programs to better serve students. But critics say it's something else, an attempt to quietly weaken or eliminate the department without full congressional approval. Now you may be wondering, what exactly will these departments do with their new powers? Let's break that down. Let's look at how the administration plans to redistribute the department's functions. Department of Labor, taking over K-12 education programs relating to workforce development. This includes programs for disadvantaged students, students facing homelessness, migrant children, charter schools, arts education, and even English as a second language programs. The government claims that this move will help align schools with workforce needs, preparing students for the golden age of America's workforce. Essentially, states will still get funding, but instead of coming through the Education Department, the money will now flow through the Department of Labor. Department of Interior will oversee education programs for Native American schools and tribal communities through the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Department of State will now manage international education, including foreign student programs, academic language exchange, and cultural education programs. Interestingly, since Trump began his 2nd term, the State Department has also tightened visa rules for international students, including reviewing their social media activity to see if they harbor opinions against American culture or institutions. This tougher policy has already contributed to a 17% decline in international student enrollment in U.S. universities. So, what has been the political reaction to all this? Trust me, the battle lines are drawn, and they're fierce. Responses to this decision have been intense and deeply divided. Democrats are calling it an assault on public education. Senator Elizabeth Warren slammed the administration, saying, instead of lowering costs, the administration is punishing underserved students. Only Congress can close the department, and I will not allow that. Democrats argue that spreading responsibilities across multiple departments will create confusion, bureaucracy, and barriers, especially for needy students. Republicans, however, largely celebrated the move. Congressman Tim Walberg praised the announcement, saying the administration is right-sizing the department to improve student outcomes and reducing what some conservatives long saw as a symbol of federal overreach and waste. However, there's a twist. Even some Republicans are not fully on board. Republican Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick warned that making big changes without congressional oversight could put students at risk. He said that education is a foundational federal function, and removing it suddenly could lead to real chaos. But political drama aside, how will this actually impact real people, schools, teachers, students, and families? Let's talk about that next. Right now, the Department of Education is responsible for tracking student achievement across states, providing funding for students with disabilities, supporting schools with high poverty populations, enforcing civil rights protections in schools and colleges, managing federal college student loan programs. Without centralized control, critics fear that students with disabilities may face funding cuts. Schools in poorer states may struggle to maintain quality. Civil rights violations in schools may go unchecked. Student loan management could become fragmented. Native American and migrant education programs could suffer. The American Federation of Teachers strongly opposed the move, warning that dividing responsibilities between different departments would lead to more confusion, more mistakes, and more obstacles for families needing help. To add more concern, the administration even announced plans to lay off more than 1,300 Education Department employees, calling it its final mission. So is this a bold reform or a dangerous dismantling? Let's look at both sides. Supporters of Trump's plan argue that education should be controlled by the states, not Washington. Federal influence leads to uniform standards that don't fit local communities. Bureaucracy wastes money that could instead go directly to schools. A decentralized system could allow for more innovation, flexibility, and parental control in education. They believe America's founding principles support this decentralization and that education is a local issue, not a federal one. They say, why should Washington decide how children in Texas, Florida, or Ohio should be taught? But is this move truly about freedom and flexibility, or is there more at stake? Opponents say dismantling the department could lead to deepening inequality. Richer states get richer schools, poorer states fall behind. Special needs students lose protection and funding. College student loan management becomes chaotic. Civil rights violations grow without federal enforcement. International reputation of U.S. education declines. Here's the key point. The Trump administration cannot fully close the Department of Education without Congress, but it can weaken it through partnerships, budget cuts, layoffs, and function transfers, and that is exactly what started happening. This is not an overnight shutdown. It's a gradual dismantling, piece by piece. Will this movement reshape education for the better or lead to deeper inequality? Only time will tell. So, what do you think? Should states have full control of schools with no federal involvement? Or should the Department of Education stay to protect equal opportunities for all students? Tell us your thoughts in the comments section below. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell icon for more updates on major policy changes shaping America and the world.